Alright, welcome back, Thruxton. If you don't own this track, you should get it. It is fun to drive, it is fun to race on. It is a simple looking track, but it is not simple. This is going to take some practice to get this one. Also, as I say, most tracks, the iRacing setup will get you around pretty quick. The setup's not too dependent, but this is one of those exceptions. This track definitely needs a good setup to get around fast, otherwise you are going to be running into trouble. And now you've got a decent setup, I believe. So we'll get into this because it is a lot to go over. So ride height 41 millimeters. It is absolutely crazy. This is a monster truck setup. There are plenty of curbs to cut here, and they are very disruptive, and you need a ride height to get over them without spinning out and dying. So 41 mils. Damper compression 15. It is very soft in the front. Possibly you could even go softer than that. Again, these curbs are so disruptive. Now, because that damper compression is 15, the back end is going to get very light. So the brake bias is going to be much higher than what you normally have it at. 58% for me. For you, that's a different number. But that watch out that back end when you get on the brakes. Not too many places to get on the brakes here, but when you do get on them, that back end is going to be very light because of that soft front end. Spring rates, low as they go, front and rear. Need lots of grip here, lots of very fast corners. And you know my channel, symmetrical is not usually the case, and it is not this time either. It is actually kind of symmetrical on the left and the right, but not front and rear. So 1.5 on the left, 1.1 on the right. Go with the higher value if you do want to keep them symmetrical. Toe in 1.4. You need to have some turn in here again with that compression so soft in the front. Understeer here is a thing. However, very fast corners, and the more you have that toe in turned up, the pointier the front end is going to get, and also that rear is going to want to step out more on you. So if you want it a little bit more tail happy, you could certainly turn up that toe in a little bit higher. Spring rates again low as they go in the rear. Camber, look at that nice yellow, 1.5. So many fast corners here, you do need lots of camber in order to keep that car from sliding too much. 1.1 on the right, again go with the higher values if you want to keep them symmetrical. Toe in 0.2, basically just to get some heat in the tires but not too hot, and to help with braking a little bit. And in the rear here, ride height 49, absolutely crazy. You could probably lie underneath this car. 49, yeah, you need that ride height to get over those curbs. ARB 15, again, very fast corners. You don't want that back end stepping out too easy as you're going through these very high speed corners. Damper compression, again, very soft in the rear just to get over those curbs. 5 damper compression and 15 rebound, and again that helps when you're getting on the throttle as you're getting over those curbs. Having a stiff back end is going to cause it to want to step out on you, spin up the tires, all that bad stuff. So softer in the rear as well. Fuel levels, 15 liters. This is one of the very few tracks where you need a lot of fuel for this one. Yeah, 15 liters is going to get you to the end. It gets me to the end with one extra lap, so watch out for that. Possibly you might need 16 if you are high on usage, but 15 should do it pretty safe. 14 is not going to get you there. Gear stack, very tall. Now this is a little tricky. Very tall is good. It is coming up maybe a little short on cold tires. On cold tires, tall stack is probably going to get you around the track a little faster. The other thing tall stack is not going to do is it's not going to help you with the draft. Obviously this track, massive straightaways, lots of draft. A tall stack, you are going to reach the rev limit quite early. Whereas very tall, you are going to be able to make use of drafting off someone, hopefully you're in the lead and don't have to worry about it. But if someone is in front of you, very tall is going to get you a lot of draft. So watch out for that. Tall is in the conversation. If you are one of the faithful, using a stick, uh, again, very tall probably is going to be a little bit more friendly. Not quite as much shifting, not as much awkward shifting. So I'm going with very tall. We shall see in the race if that is going to be the one to pick. I'll let you know. I'll post if I post a video, if I can find a good race, I will let you know what I use. So testing 35%, the usual 29 degrees seems to be the temperature for the track for this week. We'll run it out in slow-mo and then run it out at full speed. So coming into turn one comes up on you really quick. It is important, just graze the grass just to open this up a little bit. Don't get too greedy. If you get too greedy, you will get an X. And you're in third gear, and you're looking to get over top of these curbs. And basically for all of these curbs, they're very disruptive. If you graze them, if you're just on the edge here, it is going to be very disruptive even with this setup. But this setup is meant to get over top of these curbs. So make sure you are not, make sure you're being aggressive getting over them. You do not want to be timid and graze the edge of these curbs. You want to get on them. So on the curb there, just a little lift. You don't want to spin up the tires while you are on the curb, and then full throttle as you get off. A little bit of grasscrete here you can use. Just make sure you don't get on the grass, otherwise that is an X. Shifting up into fourth. So looking for the bend in the track here, just after the 100 board. This bend is not going to be so easy to see if there's a car in front of you, but just after the 100 board in fourth gear, getting on the brakes, shifting down into second, pretty hard on the brakes, and then releasing the brakes as you turn in. This is a slippery corner, so you do not want to be turning the wheel with the brakes on. A little bit of throttle just to get that back end planted. Getting on top of the curbs, don't cut them too much. You do want to cut them, be very aggressive, but keep that left wheel over the white line, and then picking up the throttle as you get off the curbs, and then getting the car over to the right as much as possible just to open this one up, and then again turning it in. This is a very windy section, just lifting a little bit to get that turn in, and again getting on the curbs aggressively there, and then picking up the throttle as you get off, and then again getting your car over to the left as much as possible to open this up. You can come through here hotter, but if you do, it's just like Silverstone in the S's. If you screw them up, you will cost yourself so much time on exit. And then again, this one actually is a fairly easy curb. It is not as bumpy as the others. Getting on there, it's not disruptive, not too disruptive at all, and then shifting up into third. Now watch on exit, especially on cold tires, you are going to be sliding wide. This green strip is not your friend. If you get onto this, it is going to suck you into the grass. Watch out for that. You want to be up to that white line, up to the green curb. I could have probably got through there a little bit more aggressive, but you do not want to actually get on the green curb. Now this one you do want to open up the track here, but be careful. You do not want to get onto this curb from the front of this curb. If you strike the curb here at the start of where it begins, it is going to disrupt your car a fair bit and make that rear very unstable. So get on the curb after the curb is started, and really you're looking for the grasscrete here. That's where you want to get onto just to open this up a bit more. In fourth gear, and you can get onto this curb on the left. The setup is not going to give you an issue, other than if you are on that curb and you are on throttle, it is going to make the car a little unstable. There's not really grip on the curb. So I like to get right up against the red and blue and white here, but not actually get on it. Now as you come around the bend here, just a little bit of lifting. If you pin the throttle, you are going to be sliding wide, and if you are sliding wide, you are not going straight and not going fast. And then just before the new pavement patch here, shifting down into third, just to get the car turned in and keep those RPMs up. And it's very important here to get onto this red and white curb. If you are not on this curb, if you are on the pavement, you are going to be sliding wide, and that grass is going to come at you very quickly. Cold tires as well. Even getting on that curb, you are going to be sliding wide a bit. You may have to do a little lift through here just to keep from getting on that grass. There is a grasscrete here on exit. You can make use of that, but be very careful. It runs out very quickly, and once you're on the grass, there is an X there. And then just gently bringing the car over to the right just to shorten the track a little bit. Up into fourth, and looking for the dip in the pavement here. Again, just grazing the grass a bit just to open this up a little bit more, but don't get too greedy. You'll get an X if you do. And it's important before the apex, long before the apex, just a little lift just to get the car turned in. You don't want to be sliding wide again. That's going to cost you time. And you don't want to be lifting at the apex because you want to be on full throttle as much as possible. I did do a little lift here, don't do that. And I find getting on these curbs is actually quite disruptive because you're carrying a lot of speed. That back end is going to want to step out if you get onto those curbs. So right up against the white line, and just trying to keep the steering input minimal, just trying to keep it as straight as possible to carry as much speed as possible. And on exit, using all of the curbs here. Now don't get on the red, just like that turn a little while back with the green curb. This red curb is going to be a little disruptive. It is going to want to take you onto that grass and have your back end step out and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So just onto the green stuff. Big passing opportunity here. This is going to be a lot of passing up here. So looking for the 50 board as just a reference, and the turn in the track here. And then turning in towards that track, you can come in here wider. Yes. But watch out, there's going to be people going up the inside here like crazy. So just as you're approaching the turn in the track, you can get in here a little bit deeper. I probably was braking a little bit too early. Shifting down into second gear, hard on the brakes. This is uphill, and with that compression so soft, watch out, it is easy to lock up here. Releasing the brakes as you turn in, just a little bit of throttle there just to keep that back end happy. And getting onto the curbs, and again, very important to be aggressive here. If you are grazing the edge, you are going to be all sorts of sideways. Get on top of the curb. That is the way through here. And then keeping the wheel as straight as possible, and watch the throttle as you're going over those curbs. You don't want to be stomping on it as you are on the curbs. And this yellow line, I believe, is the limit. So your outside tire cannot cross this white line, otherwise there's X's and slowdowns galore. So I got real tight there, and again, just watching that wheel input, try and minimize it as much as possible. And again, left tire here not crossing the yellow line, and really what you want to be doing is lining up your right hand tire to exit out here where the curbs are not there anymore. If you exit out and your right hand tire is hitting these raised curbs, it is going to want to make your back end step out. So watch out for that. It is pretty bumpy there, but with this setup you can get over those bumps pretty easy. Unwinding the wheel using all the curb here on exit, you can even catch this pavement, that's alright. Just make sure you are back on track before you get to the grass. And that is a 1:18.8. I think that should be a pretty competitive time. Obviously with a draft it is going to be a heck of a lot faster. And also watch out that last corner in your quali lap coming through this section here. If you mess this up, if you get a slowdown, if you get sideways, spin out, all that stuff, your next lap is ruined. So you've ruined 2 laps. So watch out on quali. This is a very, very tricky exit. You have to get it right, otherwise your quali time, you are going to be starting at the back. So watch out for that. So we'll run this out at full speed. Good luck out there. We'll see you next time.